Well, these are the coronavirus developments this Sunday morning. More drama around the Ruby Princess cruise ship, forbidden from leaving Australian waters today after more crew members test positive. 3 million more flu doses to be made available after a record uptake of vaccines causes a shortage. 100 million face masks to arrive in Australia earlier than expected, which could allow elective surgery to resume.
Surf lifesavers to be recruited to assist paramedics as part of a medical reserve force. The Queen puts a ban on gun salutes for her 94th birthday this week as Britain's death toll this morning passes 15,000. And the global citizen concert to thank healthcare workers is on this morning with the world's biggest stars performing from home.
The number of global infections this morning is approaching 2.3 million, with the death toll passing 158,000. In Australia, 6,565 people have now tested positive for COVID-19, while more than 4,000 have recovered from the virus. The number of deaths has risen to 68. In New South Wales, there are 2,936 confirmed cases. In Victoria, 1,319. Queensland has recorded 1,014 cases.
Western Australia has 544 positive tests. South Australia remains at 435 after no new cases yesterday. Tasmania is now up to 187. The ACT has another consecutive day of no new cases. The Northern Territory has 27.
Well, let's go live now to our team of 7 News reporters, beginning with Samantha Brett at Port Kembla, where the Ruby Princess remains docked. Sam, the coronavirus-riddled cruise ship was supposed to leave today.
It was, Matt. Good morning. It's hard to imagine the ship leaving Australian waters anytime soon. In fact, the problems for the Ruby Princess just keep on mounting. Yesterday, it was announced that 9 more crew members have now tested positive to the virus. That brings the total number on board with the virus to 162, and they are still waiting for a number of more test results to come back. Meantime, there are a number of pending lawsuits now against the ship. One family of a man who died in the United States after disembarking, well, they are now suing the cruise company for $1 million for negligence. The total number of people who have now died after disembarking that ship has reached 21. Across New South Wales, we now have 29 people who have died. 3 more deaths were announced yesterday, including someone from that nursing home in Western Sydney, where there are now 30 cases there. So meantime, in regards to the ship, authorities say that it won't be leaving until at least the end of the week, guys.
Political reporter Jennifer Beshwati is in Canberra. Good morning, Jen. Now, the Prime Minister has backflipped on possibly forcing Australians to download the coronavirus tracking app.
Good morning, guys. He has ruled out making it mandatory, but he's still urging as many Australians to download it when it becomes available. Otherwise, the social restrictions may have to stay much longer. The app is one of 3 goals the Prime Minister said he wanted to reach in the 4 weeks, in the next 4 weeks, to start easing restrictions. That's more testing, greater tracing and stopping outbreaks. There have been privacy concerns that people don't want to be tracked, but the government says it won't be tracking you. It simply digitises where you've been and who you've been in contact with. And if you come into contact with someone that's tested positive, well, then it notifies you, and then authorities can then notify the people you've come in contact with if you've tested positive. It's based on the Singapore model, and I'm told will be rolled out in either next week or the week after. And some good news today on the medical front. The stockpile of face masks for our frontline health workers has increased, with the Morrison government receiving an additional 58 million face masks to protect our frontline workers from COVID-19. And as winter draws near, the government is expected to announce today that it's secured a record 16.5 million flu vaccine doses. An additional 3 million vaccines will be made available through GPs and pharmacies over the next 3 months.
Gee, that's good news. They'll be crucially important overseas now. And US correspondent Paul Kanak is in New York. Paul, thousands of people have protested against lockdown measures with the support of the president.
Good morning, Matt. Yeah, we're seeing more boisterous rallies in places like Nevada, Indiana, Maryland, Texas and also Wisconsin today, following similar protests in states yesterday, calling for an end to the stay-at-home rules, calling for their states to be reopened. And as you say, Donald Trump was really egging them on yesterday, supporting protesters in Minnesota, Michigan and Virginia. Now, the message is that it's having a devastating effect on employment, on jobs, on businesses, on people's lives. But the counter message, obviously, as state governors are trying to work out when to reopen their state, is the need to keep people safe, to stop the spread of the infection before they decided to loosen things up a bit. There are more protests expected in more states in the days to come. And while that's happening, there's a show of another kind happening right now, and that is One World Together at Home, this unprecedented global entertainment event. It starts in a few hours, the main concert event, which features the Rolling Stones, Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, Billie Eilish, Oprah, Taylor Swift, Elton John, J-Lo, Lizzo, Keith Urban. And what's happening right now, though, is the pre-show, which is being live streamed. Among the performers, Delta Goodrem.
Hey everyone, it's Delta Goodrem here. Now it's overwhelming as we head into these uncharted waters. Our way of life is changing right before our eyes, so I just wanted to remind everyone to please take care of yourselves and your loved ones.
It is a collaboration, this event, between a group called Global Citizen, the World Health Organization. It is about thanking health workers, essential workers around the world for what they're doing. What it is not, though, is a fundraiser. As one of the hosts said earlier today, put your wallet away. The money has already been raised. We just want to put on an incredible show. And with names like that, it surely will be. The main event will be right here on Channel 7, right after Weekend Sunrise.
Yeah, it looks terrific. Thank you, Paul. Well, Sarah Greenhalgh is in London. And Sarah, the Queen has ordered for there to be no gun salute for her birthday. Will there be any celebrations at all?
Morning, Mon. Very little. There will be nothing particularly special to mark her birthday come Tuesday. For the first time in the Queen's 68-year reign, the traditional gun salute, as you say, won't be going ahead. It usually happens from Hyde Park and the Tower of London, but given the circumstances, Her Majesty has deemed that it would simply be too inappropriate. That cancellation comes on top of her traditional June birthday celebration, Trooping the Colour, also being called off. The UK is now on track to be one of the worst affected nations by COVID-19. Overnight, there has been another 888 deaths in the past 24 hours, with the death toll almost at 15,500. And there are fresh claims just in the past few hours that Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, didn't do enough from the very start, that he actually missed 5 COBRA meetings as this crisis was worsening in other countries. There's claims that the government ignored scientists' warnings and that they also didn't do enough to fulfil calls to order more protective gear. Doctors and nurses who are on the front lines say there is now a critical shortage. They are due to run out of gowns on Monday and they are deciding whether or not to go to work. They are scared for their lives, guys.
Understandably. All right, team, thank you.